Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, a former paralegal, current stay-at-home mom, lifelong lover of true crime. I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world, and if you don't know what a cucuy or a llorona is, it is a monster, a real-life monster. The cases I cover are wild, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is very strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos and let's get started on today's case. Like I previously said, when I covered the Brian Egg case, whose headless torso was found in a fish tank inside his Soma home, it was shocking. I thought these things were rare, but imagine my surprise when I found two more dismemberment cases in San Francisco. The case of Margaret Mammer, which I just covered in a previous episode, if you want to check that out, and the Benedict Ching case. Benedict Ching was born and raised in San Francisco, California. He lived in the Excelsior district at 161 Del Monte Street. This neighborhood is lined with pastel-colored homes. In May of 2019, he was reported missing by his sister and his boss after failing to show up to work. Benedict worked at a funeral home for decades, and it was not like him to miss work at all. Although he was 73 years old, he was healthy, he was strong, and he had no plans of slowing down. Benedict had been an SF resident at his home for decades and was known to keep to himself, but always extended a warm hello to neighbors and passers-by. Neighbors reported remembering a woman and two children living with him at the home a while back. In May of 2019, the San Francisco Police Department confirmed that the dismembered body of Benedict Ching was found inside the refrigerator of his very own home. As his body parts were found in the freezer, investigators immediately suspected foul play. According to experts, the task of chopping up a body is a special type of evil. The dismemberment of a human body is a laborious undertaking that is almost always done to hide the evidence in a manner that even the most hardened criminals can barely stomach. For Benedict's case, the FBI came to assist the SFPD with their investigation, and 2 days after their gruesome discovery of Mr. Benedict Ching's dismembered body inside the refrigerator of his very own home, the district attorney filed charges of suspicion of murder against Stephanie Ching and Douglas Lomas. Stephanie was Benedict's daughter and Douglas was her husband, so his daughter and his son-in-law. When Benedict's sister and his boss went to his house to check in on him, they knocked and they were met with Benedict's son-in-law, Douglas. Douglas told them that Benedict had been sick and that he had left the day before. Douglas asked them to leave, and they started to feel like something was terribly wrong. Doug and Stephanie had recently moved into the home with their two young children. In the bathtub, the duo had left a circular saw tool that had Benedict's biological matter on it. The San Francisco medical examiner was unable to determine an exact cause of death for this confirmed homicide. Police were able to enter the home using a key that Benedict's sister had given her, and in case of emergencies, and upon Upon entering the home, officers found that it was messy. There were pieces of cardboard blocking the entrance to the kitchen. When they got to the bathroom, officers noticed plastic and cardboard lining the bloody walls. They found human body parts, including a human head, in the refrigerator. Throughout the home, investigators found latex gloves, duct tape, and plastic sheeting. Around the time of the disappearance, neighbors reported hearing loud arguments and pounding on the walls. After killing and dismembering Benedict Ching, stuffing him in the refrigerator, Stephanie and Douglas caught an SFO flight, and Bonnie and Clyde their way to China. When Stephanie, Doug, and their 2 small children landed in Beijing, they were picked up by Homeland Security and taken to Washington, D.C., and then back to San Francisco. They were booked and jailed and held without bail.